hope in the horizon, in the statute and efforts of our beloved King, His Majesty the King, Misuzulu Kazolithini. We wish to ensure isilo that as Cogta, we are determined to enhance our contribution in making KwaZulu-Natal a trailblazer by bringing all stakeholders in social compact to improve local government, which is at the coalface of our service delivery. Siyafisa ukuthi siqinisekise wena omdala ukuthi sizokwenza konke okusemandleni njengomnyango ukuba lube khona uzinzo esakhiweni sobuholi bomdabu kulesi sifundazwe. Lokhu sizokwenza ngoba siyaqonda njengohulumeni ophetheyo ukuthi ubuholi bomdabu buneqhaza elibaluleke kakhulu ukuthuthukisa isizwe. Ngiyafisa futhi ukuba ngibonge ubambisana esinakho namakhosi aseNdlunkulu uma senza lo msebenzi kanye nomasipala bethu uma siqhuba imisebenzi yosuku nosuku singuCogta. The President was in the State of the Nation address that the poor performance of many municipalities is a key area of concern for the sixth administration. In KwaZulu-Natal, we are also experiencing an added challenge with the murder of Amakosi and Izinduna, which is not, and there are no arrests that has been made, and that has a potential of destabilizing cooperative governance and deprive communities of basic services and development. In this regard, we welcome the marching orders given by the Premier to take decisive action to enhance the capacity and performance of local government. We further support the call of the communities and law enforcement agencies to draw a line in the sand on the matter of our revered traditional leaders. In this context of persistent challenges around electricity, water, and sanitation, we wish to ensure the people of KwaZulu-Natal that together with all the relevant stakeholders will be redoubling our efforts to mitigate the impact of load shedding, which also affects the provision of water and other services to our communities. Honorable Chair, we will use the opportunity to present our plans and a vision for the cooperative governance in collaboration with the Institute of Traditional Leadership in KwaZulu-Natal. We remain guided by the ideal of the people-centered, capable local government geared towards building peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable communities through service delivery of quality, dignity, basic services. In this regard, we wish to commend the people of KwaZulu-Natal who informed this address by providing us with input through public engagement and social media. Honorable Chair, we are pleased to present the budget policy statement having achieved a clean audit outcome. Thanks to the foundation laid by my predecessors, this is the third clean audit in succession by the department. Kusho ukuthi imali sesiziphatha kahle, sesizokuthi masikhuluma nomasipala ukuthi abaziphathe kahle imali, sikhulume sime on the firm ground of that we have an example of being a department that is leading by example. On June 29, 2022, our province reconstituted the KwaZulu-Natal House of Traditional and Khoisan leaders. We congratulate Inkosi Singa for his election to lead the House for the 5-year term of office. I wish also to put into the attention of this House that we were so disappointed by one of our district that could not constitute its house, which is King Cetshwayo district. That local house has not been constituted up to this far, and we have not seen the cooperation and the coming of these Amakosi to the activities of the house as expected. We're hoping that they are going to rectify that and have a house that is in line with the constitution and the legislatives. We had a 3-day strategic planning session with representative of traditional leaders. Gathering The gathering agreed to prioritize rural development, the safety of Amakosi and Izinduna, and to accelerate service delivery. We are pleased that we have reached consensus with our traditional leaders about the need to prioritize infrastructure development, agriculture support, local economic development, social cohesion, and rooting out gender-based violence and femicide. Honorable Chair and honorable members, in 2022, flood left a permanent wound, untold suffering, and vast damage to KwaZulu-Natal. The province recorded at least 785 disaster-related incidents. Latest figure show that a total of 27,069 households were affected. 8,584 houses were totally destroyed, and a total of 13,536 houses were partially destroyed. The total cost of the damages for infrastructure was estimated at 25.3 billion, honorable members. The municipal disaster relief grant for the April-May 2022 floods were allocated to the KZ municipalities for phase 1 was a total of 87 billion 330 and 93,000 million. My apologies, it's 87.
Yeah.
My apologies, I didn't read correctly, but it's 87,393,000. That's what I'm supposed to be saying. And the phase 2, the amount is 134 million 457,000, and we're hoping that the municipalities will deal with that. And there is also an additional of 6.3 now billion was allocated. We want also to report to this house that we are concerned with the municipalities that are not spending these grants for the disaster, and particularly those that have a huge impact in the infrastructure. And we are very worried about 34 of those municipalities that has not done so, and we are following up. That I want to put it up front so that when you ask, you should get it from the horse's mouth. That this is the state that we find ourselves, but not only on the disaster grant, but also on other grants. And with the Department of with the Treasury, we are visiting those municipalities that has a huge amount that has not been spent. We wish also to say kubantu bakithi KwaZulu-Natal abathintekile kulezi inhlekelele, siyakhalisana nemindeni yabo nalabo abangabazitholi izihlobo zabo, ngoba thina njengesintu siyakholelwa ekutheni ithambo lethu silibiyeke siligcine, noma ngabe siligcina ngayiphi indlela, kodwa sazi ukuthi siligcine kuphi ukuze izizukulwane zazi ukuthi sababeka kuphi abathandiweyo bethu. Siyakhalisana ke nemindeni engakabatholi abathandiweyo babo. Siyaphinda futhi sikhalisane nemindeni ekuthe ngomhla ka-16 4 days before we come before this house, bashelwa izindlu nayo yonke impahla bebenayo lapha ya eDakota eSphingo, imizi ethintekile 350 households and over 800 people lost their homes and belonging. It was sad to see more than 308 children left homeless. Yayinzima kakhulu, kodwa ke sikwazile ukuhlangabezana nayo zonke iminyango ethintakalayo. Njoba sibonile ukuthi ongqongqoshe bakazwelonke behlile futhi bazobona bazolekelela ukuba kubiyele isimo endaweni yaso. Honorable Chair and honorable members, I want to talk about program 1, which is the administration, the preferential procurement. It remains a department's policy to utilize the public procurement to actively empower previously marginalized communities. We have specific targets for women, youth, and people with disability as a means to level the playing field. Department supported economic transformation and Black economic empowerment by ensuring that 60% of all bids were awarded to Africans. We ensured that no less than 30% of procurement was awarded to women and women-owned businesses. Equally, we met the minimum target of 10% to military veterans, 5% to people living with disability, and 15% to the youth. We continue to make strides to building skills, requiring for the department and an ethical, capable and developmental state. We continue to work closely with the National School of Governance, SALGA, and other stakeholders to professionalize the public service and enhance skills. The department has taken a decision to pursue avenues for recognition of prior learning for officials who have gathered years of experience in various fields but have not been able to acquire any formal qualification. We have already started engaging institutions of higher learning, whilst we have also identified the first cohort of officials to take part in the program. These consist of a total of 162 officials who have completed grade 8 to grade 12, with some of also have PRISA certificates. Kusho ukuthi ke sesikwazile ukubasiza aba 162. We are continuing with our program. Siyazi ukuthi abaningi abakwazanga ukuya ezikoleni baqedile. Siyafuna ukusho futhi ukuthi kubantu abakhubazekile sesikwazile ukufika kwi-target ebeyade ibekiwe ewu-2% ukuba sibanikeze amathuba omsebenzi. Besiye senze ke imisebenzi si-recruit abantu sibe specific ukuthi sifuna laba abaphila abakhubazekile ngoba bazobamba iqhaza ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sibanike. Bafundile ke abanye banamabhizinisi, ingakho nibonile ngale siyasho ukuthi ke sibasize nalabo abanamabhizinisi. Program 2, which is local government, Honorable Chair and members, in the 2023 State of the National Address by the President of our country, the fact that 163 out of 257 municipalities are dysfunctional or in distress due to poor governance, ineffective, and sometimes corrupt financials and administrative management and poor service delivery. That was the word that was said by His Excellency, the President Cyril Ramaphosa. We agree with the President on the need for consequence management, attracting a highly skilled, ethical public service on merit. Equally, we must focus on maintaining and upgrading municipal infrastructure, as well as taking decisive steps in line with the Constitution to intervene in municipalities that are not functional. Siyakholwa ukuthi ke akuzukhala lokho ke njengoba siqhubeka nokulekelela umasipala la sibona khona bengasupportekile, we support them. La sibona khona bephuma esandleni, we try ukulekelela nabo ukuthi babuyele endleleni bakwazi ukusebenza ngendlela elindelekile elandela umthetho. The 2021 local government election led to an increase in the number of hung municipalities, resulting in the establishment of coalition governments. While coalition have become a norm in other countries, they are still a relatively new development in our country and present specific challenges which affect governance and delivery of services. Sibonile ke komasipala abaningi bayasukuma bayahlala bafike ugcotshwe kuphinde kuqalwe phansi njalo ngenxa yokuthi amandla awekho kulabo abekho bathole amandla alingene ukuthi bangaqhubeka no government. And ke siyafisa ukuthi ke njenga nomnyango sizoqinisekisa ukuthi siyalekelelana ukubuyisana endleleni nasekwenzeni ukuthi ke noma kukhona i-coalition kodwa ama-services abantu awaye kubantu ama-services singagcini nje sibanga sigcine singasakwazi ukuthatha inqumo ezizonikezela ama-services. We are also going to ensure that the national minister is also brought on board on trying to minimize the instability and poor service delivery that is caused by this coalition government in our municipality, local government level. We are also going to facilitate a situation where we speak with SALGA and also deal with these matters and try to find a conflict management mechanism to ensure that coalition government at the municipal level are stable, predictable, and efficient. Siyakholwa ukuthi ke sizobambisana ke ngasezimalini ke siyafuna ukuthi ke it is clear ukuthi ke izimali azikaphathwa ngendlela elindelekile ku local government ngenxa yombiko olethwe umgcini mabhuku ukuthi ke okwamanje sakwazi ukuthi simuve ngoyedwa umasipala sinomasipala abane kuphela bakwazi ukuthola i-clean audit siyakholwa ukuthi ke lokho kuzolungiseka ngenxa yezimo ke zokuthi lama coalition enza bangasebenzi kahle umasipala bagcine noma sebesebenzisa imali bangayisebenzisi ngendlela elindelekile ngoba abanye balabo masipala bagcina bengasathatha ama resolution emkhandlwini ukuba ba-implemente izinto zomkhandlu ngoba manje kuyacashelwana kwenzela ukuthi ke kulokudojwana kugcine kungenzekile kahle. We want ukuthi ke i-cooperation ibe khona phakathi kwethu njenganomnyango in assisting them so that they deliver services as expected and also adhere to the legislative that guides them and also inform them on what they're supposed to do as municipalities. Ezezimali ke sizigadile ngenxa yalokho siyafuna ukuthi sibambisane. There are municipalities that we are going to visit with Treasury to ensure that we discuss the issues of how they manage their funds and how the National Treasury has wrote to us to intervene in this, go and assist in these municipalities to ensure that they come back and spend the budget as expected. The unfunded budget also we are going to disapprove, and all budgets that has not been passed by councils and those that are unfunded, we have written to the Treasury to say, ignore them, don't allow them, and don't accept those municipalities to spend those money because they don't have, and also they need to go back and relook at their budget and follow the correct processes. Ngiyakusho lokho ngoba ngiyazi ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi uthi ade ngimenyezwa kuthiwa ufunani u-MEC uyangenelela u-MEC kanti angingeneleli ngingazange ngize ngiqale ngibuza ukuthi nenzwa yini ngakwenza umsebenzi wenu ngingenela mase ngibuzile uma kuthiwa anihlalisi anolandela ama rules of order ngiyanibuza kungani ningakwenzi lokho bese maniqeda lapho niqhubeke ningizibe ngiyangena ke sengobiza umhlangano wamakhansela phela ngenza umsebenzi mina ngoba phela amakhansela fanele enze umsebenzi so ke ngiyafuna ukuthi singanyathelani kamakhona ngalokho. And I'm also reporting to this house, that's a situation that we find ourselves, and we are going to support municipalities, but also we are not going to support municipalities blindly and say, "Hayi bafethu qhubekani noma ngaba nenzi kahle nilandele umthetho." Akwenzeki kanjalo. It can happen. We also want to learn ukuthi asiphinde sibonge ngoba njengoba ngishilo ngathi bakhona amasipala abasebenze kahle kakhulukazi umasipala omusha ongenile emva kokukhahlamba neKingcetshwayo nomhlathuze ngiyazi ke abanye ke angifuni ukuyipolitika le ngizoyibeka nje obinjalo ngoba kuzoba sengathi ngiyapolitika mangisho ukuthi hayi wawukade ungaphethwe laba abaphethe kodwa ke uthola i-clean audit kanye ne-Rain Konyeni who's joined the queue singasho ke ukuthi ke khona abangaphathi kahle ngokuqembu kodwa nje sisho ngokwezandla zokuphatha imali ukuthi cha baphathe kahle labafo so ke nomasipala abawu4 esobashayela izandla ukukhahlamba iKingcetshwayo umhlathuze kanye ne-Rain Konyeni abathole i-clean audit base benikeza nama awards by u-AG for doing well. We want also to assist in reducing ama government debt and sikhulumile kakhulu ukuthi siyafuna ukuthi ke addresswe ama section 21 schools angafuni ukukhokha and nokukhulumisana neingonyama trust on the land that they are not willing to pay the property rates on them, but also to say that we want to also to encourage municipalities to ensure that they speed the process of valuation, because at times that's a process that delays and makes other people not to pay for their rents because they are still contesting some of the rates that they are said are due to them. We are going to also to have valuation appeal boards throughout our province. We are going to have 10 district evaluation appeal boards and one in the metro. It means we are going to have 11 evaluation appeal boards. We are trying also to assist in capping the debt that the local government is incurring, and that also reduce their revenue. We are also going to assist the municipality in dealing with the issue of enhancing their revenue, and we are going to also to intervene in ensuring that all what is due to the municipalities is done, and those municipalities are supposed to apply and correct their billing processes and all that can make them to increase their revenue are assisted with the systems to do so. We want also to report that we are building capacity to our municipalities in cooperation with SALGA and other stakeholders. We rolled out the sector-based councillor orientation workshop aimed at inducting and orientating both new and returning councillor about their role and responsibility in local government environment and legislation that governs it. Siyabafundisa ke silekelele sisho ukuthi ke bafanele ukuyigcina imithetho nansi imithetho abasebenza ngaphansi kwayo. Ngiyafuna ukuthi ngisho kulendlu ukuthi amanye amakhansela wahambi lemhlangano lama workshop ayawadoja. Beyingakho ubona sebenza izinto ezingafanele nje zokuthi badibhize imikhandlu bakhandane futhi kabusha ngendlela engeyona ingoba abahlali emhlanganweni balalele babuza ukuthi kuranwa kanjani imikhandlu bacabanga ukuthi imikhandlu nje bazovele bawuthi hayi asawuthandi lo sesithandalo bangalandeli indlela ekufanele zilandele. Siyayenza i-capacity yokubalekelela. We hoping that amakhansela will try and participate in these workshop and ensure that they gain capacity elindelekile kubona and they will run. Manje ke siyahlushwa ke ngilento engabi khona kuma workshop abanye benza into engenziwe ukuthi umkhandlu usukhandiwe uthola ukuthi umkhandlu futhi sekhona umuntu oyikhansela kodwa engelona ikhansela suke nje an ordinary person to hayi ikhansela ngoba siyakuthanda bese ke manje kumkhandlu kusho ukuthi ke kufanele ukuthi kungenwe emthethweni ukuthi ke wenziwa njani lo mkhandlu ngoba uphula umthetho. We want also to strengthen the public participation. Siyafuna ukuthi ke siqinisekise ukuthi ke kule nyaka lwabiwozimali siyaqinisekisa ukuthi i-department iyafuna uku-increase ama-community development workers. Sizowa increase ngo-100 ama-community development workers ethu ukuzama ukufica inamba yama-wards esikhona because ngokomthetho kufanele ngabe i-ward ne-ward ine-community development worker yakhona esizayo in also assisting i-issue of ama-war rooms at various districts and wards. So sizokwenza kanjalo ke uku-fast tracker that service and also ensure this house ukuthi sizoqinisekisa ukuthi namanye ama-ward futhi nawo siyawanikezela as imali siba nayo noma sesireviewa i-budget yethu. Overall provincial IDP credibility average increased from 74% in 2021 to 80% in 2022. And the top achiever municipality in the province on IDP credibility received a score of 96%, which is an improved from the previous year of top achieving, which was 88. Kushuke izinga lokusebenza nezinga lokwenza ama-IDP afanelekile nalindelekile likhulile. Owaye uphuma number 1 ngonyaka oka-2021 wayethole u-88%. Kuka-2022 uthole u-96%. It means ukuthi ke ukusupporta isibanika wona it's adding value and hence we are seeing this movement in the improvement of our IDPs. Revitalization, we revitalize uMasakane campaign in 2023-24. Financially, we want to launch a war on illegal dumping with an aim of converting dumping sites into organic gardens for the communities. We are going to work with the Department of Agriculture in ensuring that they will continue to teach people to plant organically, but also to clean our township and areas where we see people dumping, where they are not dumping. We are going to launch a war against that and as part of our Masakane campaign. Revised approach to intervention in terms of Section 139 of Constitution. We want to revise and so that we don't have this situation where amasipala bethu kukhona ungazwani ngenxa yokuthi understanding yokuthi usection 139 uhamba uphelephi amakhansela yini umsebenzi wawo administration when the matter intervention seyikhona kufanele kusetshenziswane kanjani, but also to put some of the matters that we feel that it should be included to augment the capacity of abantu abasuke benikezwele ukuba bayo represent the minister in those respective municipality. Sifuna ukuthi ke si institutionalize i-district development model malunga hloniphekela lendlu sithi ke we are working with municipality we are accelerating the implementation of the district development model to unlock the bottleneck in the service delivery, in the delivery of services. We have made huge strides in developing and adopting the one plan, one budget for district municipality. 10 of the 11, one plan, one budget were adopted. One plan were adopted by June 2022. Political instability at Umkhanyakude district made it to be the only municipality not to adopt the first generation of one plan by the political hub after the recommendation of the technical hub by the deadline of June 2022. Sizokulungisa ke lokho siphinde senze nje kade ngishilo ekuqaleni sivakashele labo masipala abanawo ama challenge even okuhlala ukuthi bahlalise inhlangano iadopte izinto ekufanele adoptwe as expected by the law. Sizo strengthenisha ke institution on the DDM approach ngo 2023-24 Cogta will dedicate at least 1 day a month for all the hubs and clusters to convene. We'll also intensify capacity development initiative for councillors, municipal officials, as well as sector departments and national Cogta in finalizing the framework for the institutionalization of the DDM. And this will assist all role players abide by the rules of the game. Siyazi ukuthi senesikhala thina njenga ne department ukuthi omasipala bayaba nawo ama DDMs but visibility ne participation yama departments provincial and national seems not to be at a pace and also in a manner that we will expect them to participate. That also needs us to deal with it. DDM is in action through the African Smart City on the Eastern Cape Seaboard. Sifuna ukuthi siyibike ukuthi ke umongameli uzile wazolauncha process and that process yokuthi ne framework yokusebenza Eastern Seaboard Regional Special Development Framework. Umongameli afika la sazohlanganyela embandakanya ugu Herigwala district kanye ne Eastern Cape. Siyaqhubeka ke nalomsebenzi and siyazi ukuthi uzokwenza ivalue elindelekile kakhulu. Siyafuna futhi ukuthi sisho ukuthi njengano Cogta we province yonke imisebenzi ethinta ukuba siqinisekise ukuthi lobudlelwane buyaqhubeka siyenzile and also sikhona nemsebenzi othinta electrification program plans related to Alfred Zo district, Ugu, Herigwala and OR Tambo district as we are dealing with the seaport my apology. Siyafuna ke ukuthi siya program 3 which is the development and planning. Nakhona i-department is monitoring and support municipality on the implementation of infrastructure projects through MIG, through WSIG and RBIG grants. And as a result of such monitoring, 25 KwaZulu-Natal municipalities received additional MIG funding in the 21-22 financial year. And the province recorded the best expenditure performance nationally. Want also, we agree with the Premier that in the year ahead, KwaZulu-Natal Cogta should play a greater oversight role, addressing the failure of municipalities to spend their municipal infrastructure grant. It is indeed a sad indictment that at present, KwaZulu-Natal municipalities are reported to spending 53.7% of their MIC allocation, 40.4% on the WSIG and 30.6% of RBIG. I have listed the municipality that has the National Treasury has written to us where they have withdrawn money. It's listed there with the amount and we're hoping that with the engagement and the decision that was taken by Cabinet that we must visit those municipalities and also get explanation and find a way of assisting where there is a need to do so. Expanding electricity provision. Honorable members, Honorable Chair, with regard to the challenge of load shedding, we welcome the message by the Premier on the state of the provincial address outlining the steps being taken by the province to mitigate the challenges and turn the situation around. I want to assure this House that the meeting with the Premier has started, and we have agreed that we are going to meet once a month and ensure that we turn the situation around in our province. We have progress in the electricity master plan, as one previously this department has presented the plan and is complete now, and we are going to deal with the aspect of the plan moving forward. We are also going to engage on the alternative energy initiatives, and we would give further clarity ways they need to do so, but we are committing as well. Cogta is also progressing on the Cogta electricity investment, and we have outlined the amount and the municipalities that we have assisted in ensuring that they provide this service to our people. Bulk transmission plan by ESCOM, we also report on the 1.1 billion projects that are funded by ESCOM in our province in ensuring that there is light, but we want to say that that amount has also went to Mgungundo family, who had run a weekly war room to unlock the implementation of the challenge. And I'm not going to embark on discussing the issue of the energy crisis, but safe to say that we are on top of the situation. We are trying to assist our municipalities and ensure that even if we don't have much money, but with the little we have, we are going to assist them to ensure that there are lights in those municipalities, and people living on those municipalities are given the services, because it doesn't only affect that the street lights and the lighting in the houses, but also it affects the provision of water, because pumps use electricity to pump water to the pipe and take it to the houses that they're supposed to go to. Honorable members, we are busy implementing our water, KwaZulu-Natal water and sanitation master plan, and we have embarked on ensuring that we prioritize the bulk water distribution and storage project funded by the RBIG, and KwaNongoma we have put 822 million. Also in Greytown we have a cost of 524. I hope that it's going to assist. I'm not going to go through. We'll continue to monitor the implementation of the water service funded bulk water project, and in particular the challenges with Umzinyathi, King Cetshwayo, Uthugela and Herikwala. The current program of the rationalization of water boards will result in the provision of a strategic support required to unlock some of these projects relating to bulk supply. We welcome the rationalization process, which will result also on one water board of the KZN province and a more targeted approach to transform the water sector in order to reach universal access by 2030. Honorable Chair, in the year 22-23 financial year, other water reticulation and O&M projects funded throughout water service infrastructure grant with budget of 972 million supported project in Herikwala, Uthugela, Umzinyathi, Zululand, King Cetshwayo, Ilembe and Umgungundo district. I'm not going to go down and also highlight other municipalities and how they are spending, but also safe to say that the slide is also indicating how are we doing in relation to water and also in relation to sanitation. Building skills and technical support to municipalities. We want to assure the House that we are hands-on on support to municipalities to address service delivery challenges. The department appointed a project management unit to support Uku, Tugela, Amajuba, and Newcastle, and Umsunduze over the duration of 24 months to the value of 169 million. Technical services teams, 24 months. Deployment for municipal PMUs, support comments in the 1st of June 2022, comprising of water engineer, project manager, and 4 civil engineering technician, administration officer, and the stakeholder engagement official. We are also establishing a social compact. We want to also to report on that as before this house. My apologies that one would want to go in details. Unfortunately, we don't have much time, but we are in the course in dealing with social compact concept and roadmap, hence has since been approved by the relevant structures. An implementation plan for the social compact was presented to the KwaZulu-Natal Economic Council, and it has been agreed that 4 district municipalities will be targeted. These are Uku, Umgungundlovu, Ilembe, and Herekuala. Building resilience in the management of integrated human settlement. Through this partnership, we will jointly recruit 4 doctorate research fellows who will undertake research that will be beneficial to our climate risk challenges. The advert for this has already been finalized. An annual budget of 1.2 million over the next 3 years has been set aside for this partnership with UKZN, and we expect a groundbreaking outcome. In 2023, the department aims to implement the recommendation made in the critical review of DDAs that was conducted in 2022. These recommendations include increasing the mandate of the DDAs, establishing an interdepartmental team between Department for Economic Development, Environmental Affairs, Tourism, Trade and Investment, KwaZulu-Natal, and Cogta, and educating local political leadership on the value of DDAs. Department will work hard in ensuring that DDAs become the center for local economic development in districts by ensuring they play the central role in the development. The LED project implementation and institutional support, we report in this August House on them, and I'm not going to go into details, safe to say that we are on course on it, and we expect that with the attitude that we are adopting, we are going to see these local economic development projects reaping the fruits and changing the lives of our people, so that we minimize people that are coming to big cities looking for jobs, but they will work in their respective areas where they reside. We also have a project that we are doing with the collaboration between ourselves, ATIA and DART, and there are key stakeholders that are also participating in ensuring that we up the game on the local economic development project implementation. A small town revitalization program, we are still on course and we are continuing with phase 1, which was value 10.6 million, and Mkambatini CPD roads value at 14 million. We are going to ensure that Dumbe also road upgrade is also getting the attention it deserves. Sizoqhubeka ke identify namanye, and we are also saying to this house that we want to see these small towns being the town that one could be proud of, irrespective that they are small towns, but we should see things that are happening in big towns, but in a minimal scale, suiting those local, those small towns. Besifuna ukuthi ke sitheke sizoletha into kwi-portfolio na kwi-legislature eshoyo ukuthi what is really an advisable small town. Masikhuluma nge-small town sisho into enjani, and we agree on it ukuthi these are the features that we want to see when we say this is a small town and it's going to cater for the people around that small town. Singaboni into yokuthi sithi siyazama eMsinga ngenxa yendawo nangenxa ye-situation yakhona kungabonakala umahluko noma sesiwakhile umgaqo noma sekwakhiwe ibridge, still the road is congested and it doesn't look like a small town at all. So we'll try and relook at the concept and try and make something. We are going to minimize the number of those small towns that we are going to assist, because we want to see the impact. Because when we say let's deal with all of them with the minimal funding that we have, we are not going to make impact. If we said let's target about 3 or 4, we target those 3 and 4, and we put all the resources there, and we change that small town, and people will say, indeed, this town was not like this before, and now it's a town that we can be proud of as people of that particular area. Ngiyazi ngenisha izandla ngoba phela nina lezi ndaba lezi zini-excite, mina zangi-excite. Ngiyabona ukuthi senithanda ungathi niyakhathala, ningakhathali. Amakhosi Rural Economic Development, we have a program, and we are saying that we want to see in the areas of Amakhosi, understand Amakhosi ukuthi why it's important to allocate land for economic development. Mabe allocate allocate indawo bazi allocate amasimu kube iziza zokwakha, allocate nendawo engabe ziba ama centers where we can put ama structures azokwazi ukuthi attract ama investors in that particular rural area or leyo ndawo yenkosi, ukuze bakwazi ukuthi abantu bakhona bathola amathuba omsebenzi, and nalabo abantu abangosomabhizinisi bakulezo ndawo bathola indawo zokuthi nami ngiyathanda ukwakha ibhizinisi kodwa ngifuna ukusebenza ngasekhaya, and we create jobs ngasemakhaya lapho sikhona. We are working with Amakhosi. There are projects that we have been doing with the Ibula Found vegetable production. Inkosi yakwaXolo siyasebenzisana naye ngama vegetable production, sibambisene no Cogta kuloko. We have put aside 6.5 million because we want to see this thing working, and we'll target few of Amakhosi as pilot, and then when we go through with the we have also agency imali as the agency say together in assisting these areas of Amakhosi, so that we see the difference and develop those areas economy yakhona. Ngiyakholwa ukuthi uNcamalala emisika rural waka agriculture will assist us in ensuring that when we deal with the auction, they deal with the auction. They will put us on board so that we understand how can we make those people come there, and also not only auction, but also the people that are going to the auction will be the people that have butcheries in those respective areas, so that people will get meat in their areas, and there's a business, and also people will get jobs out of that. So we comprehend that. We are going to speak with the MEC as we are finalizing our MOA. We're hoping that that will make it different. Expanding a public works program. Nathi njengano Cogta sine war on leaks, and that program is allocated 10.8. We are going to utilize EPWPs. Implement the war on leaks as we have agreed, and also siyafuna ukusho njengoCogta ukuthi omunye umsebenzi sifuna ukwenza njengoba sisho sathi sizoba ne war on illegal dumping, soba ne war on leaks. We want to assist the municipality in ensuring that, and hence we are going to employ about 500 that are going to get an opportunity to deal with war on leaks program, and we're hoping that it's going to make. We are going to deploy them in different municipalities, and we are going to present a plan on what is it that they are going to do, so that an oversight is done on us by the respective portfolio leader Umamvelas. Community Works Program, the department monitor over 45,000 work opportunity in the Community Works Program. And I guess this we reported the department has achieved 100% municipal coverage on the CWP. Siyafuna ukuthi sireport la. We are also going to go on and ensure that this could be attributed to strong institutional arrangement in the province. Municipal internship program and municipal in-service training program. Sinayo njengoCogta, we have put aside imali of 30 million in the internship program, and 7.5 million in the in-service training program. achieving its target of recruiting 500 interns and 250 in-service trainees. We want to do that. That was done in the previous year. We are continuing with the program. Same, a number of people will then be absorbed in the program. It means that we have 750 opportunities that is going to be created by the department. We want to also to report on the land governance and management. We want to also to indicate that, as we have discussed earlier, want to address the challenge. Cogta has launched a provincial-wide campaign aimed at building better neighborhood and sustainable human settlement. The campaign #MyNeighborhood, My Pride was launched as part of the wider Masakane program. Sifuna ukuqinisekisa ukuthi we strengthen it and continue with it. Want to reduce the disasters in human settlement through improved land use management. Sizoyenza kanjalo ngoba siyazi ukuthi abantu ngendlela abahleli ngayo they cause disaster at times, and the disaster that should have affected few, it affects the number of people that live in the informal settlement. We'll deal with that and assist them, and also support the municipalities in ensuring that these floods and devastating floods are taken care of, and we also prevent the floods or the disasters that may incur and incurred by those municipalities in the future. We have put 1.1 billion with the National Cogta and the human settlement for the immediate response purpose to augment the resources of the affected organs of state, dependent coping capacities, or even their own resources have been depleted. Siyafuna ke ukuthi ke sisho ukuthi ke approving from approvals from emerging relief funds. We are as follows: 325.7 million was allocated from the provincial emergency housing grant. 221.8 million was allocated from the municipal disaster response grant. These are the municipalities that have benefited. I've listed them: Oku, Reinkonyeni, Msunduzi, Ukhahlamba, Ilembe, Inkosilanga Libalele, Alfred Duma, KwaDukuza, and eThekwini. The plan for early warnings, we have the Provincial Disaster Management Center has established a solid relationship with the South African Weather Service to monitor and disseminate developing weather warnings and advisories to the alert stakeholders and communities that they are likely to be affected. So besowenza ke siqhubeke njalo ngaloko kuxhumana, besimemezela ke njengoba kade kuzoba ile impela sonto ende yama Easter ukuthi abantu abaphephe, abantu abasuke sisebenzisana nayo uweather abantu bezezulu. Recurring of the PDMC, siyazi ukuthi kama floods asibambile ngonyaka odlule April no May, and siyafuna ukusho ukuthi we are monitoring the situation and also assisting our municipalities.
MEC, I'm going to give you 10 minutes because I can see that you have got about 3 pages left, but that 10 minutes is going to be deducted at the end. That means at the end, when you respond, you'll have 10 minutes. Thank you, MEC.
There is progress on the communication system. I'm not going to go through it, and we intend that the department establish a multidisciplinary senior management task team to embark on the benchmarking exercise on the existing disaster management communication system in the country in order to identify the most suitable system that can be better serve the needs of our province. Sifakile ke imali yokwenza isiqiniseko sokuthi lokho kuyenzeka. Ama disaster center eswa supportayo amajuba sifake u5 million, emzinyathi safaka u5 million, sizoqhubeka ke nabanye sibafakele. building human settlements esikhulumile ngawo. Siyafuna ukuthi ke we strengthening the fire and rescue capacity. Njenge department we are custodian of disaster management, fire and rescue services. We must continue to promote and implement integrated and coordinated disaster management in the province. This requires concerted effort and commitment to provide technical and financial support to municipalities to establish and enhance municipal disaster management centers as well as municipal emergency centers to ensure functionality. Program 4, Udaba Makosi, the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal remain disturbed by the murder of Amakosi and his Induna. We again wish to pay our respect and to convey our deepest sympathies to families of Amakosi and his Induna. And Isilo did the same to support and also to lead us in saying that we must actually look at this matter. We are looking at it. We had a joint meeting which was facilitated by our chairperson of the portfolio committee with the portfolio of community safety, where we were discussing the matter on how can we work together to ensure that there is safety in our traditional leadership institution, and also people are educated on what is it, and also to uproot the challenges that they face that leads to them being murdered. We also commend the steps taken towards establishing the Community Safety Intervention Unit, which will focus on the safety of Amakosi and his Induna. And we have committed that we will be in the forefront assisting in ensuring that these Amakosi are safe. We have a commission on traditional and Khoisan leadership disputes. The committee the 3 commissioners, namely Utem Kosi Stole, Chairperson, Advocate, Mawande Mazibugo, and Professor Jabulani Stole were appointed. Finalization of the dispute, we are going to finalize this dispute in those respective ubukosi as outlined in this budget. We further combine 15 TACs and CSCs, Amacambi, Amakati, Cele, Masambisane, the list is long. And the 3 TAC naming Wampungose, Nabosi Zoba Legelela, in constructing their TACs with an amount of 10.4 million. With the 15 above, we are going to spend 24.7 million. We also want to present before this house that we are continuing with the project that was stopped long ago of Imizi Yezizwe. We are going to deal with them, and we have put an amount of 5.7 million to assist, and we are going to identify the Amakosi that are going to be assisted, that need our assistance in this thing, in this regard. Provision of tools of trade for Amakosi. We want to report that we are still assisting Amakosi. We have given 447 tablets to Amakosi at a cost of 1.2. We have put furniture for 52 TACs, value at 8.8 million. Amakosi who belong to the level 11 local traditional houses. We are pleased to report that the pledge was fulfilled. Siyenzile ke le engentla siyaqhubeka. Ukuthelwa kwamanzi kwamakhosi, we had a meeting with the ongangezwe lakhe in trying to plead with ongangezwe lakhe ukuthi siyacela ukuba abheke kwi-schedule sakhe ukuthi angasinikeza ziphi insuku zokuletha amakhosi nokuthi ke asivumele ukuba siwaclasterishe amakhosi ekwenzeni isiqiniseko sokuthi ayathela amanzi nalawo azobekwa agcotshwe isilo samandla. Sifuna ukubika ke ngokukhokhelwa kwe-payback yey'nduna okumsebenzi esiwenzayo siwuqalile kuqala inyanga sikholwa ukuthi ngomhla ka-28 kule nyanga sobe siqedile nazo zonke iy'nduna eziwu-2229 ezi-current bese kuba u-775 walabo abangasekho nalabo abagcina sebehlile ukuba zinduna bazokhokhelwa based on imali esiyinikwe nationally ewu-633 million, and we are on course. With that, the Premier has asked us also to look at the stipend of our TC secretaries, and that was also improved, and we have brought the report, and we are happy to report in this house that we are going to assist Amakosi with their TC secretaries with the stipend now from 1,600 to 8,000. That will be starting as of next month, the payment, and we're hoping that it will make a difference. Honorable Chair and honorable members, I want to present our budget as the Department of department we want to present the project, budget per program. Honorable Speaker, we have allocated 454.95 million for program 1. We also have for program 2, we have allocated 332.5 million on the program, and for program 3, we have allocated 434 million, and for program 4, we have allocated 1.2 million in this financial year. This is the budget that we want to present before this August House for the approval of the House, so that we utilize the funds that have been approved by our House. I want to also to thank all the members of the House for the cooperation and the work that we have been doing. Particularly, I want to thank the ANC for trusting me with this responsibility of leading this department of Cogta, and also to say that that is done in ensuring that the work of the ANC is done through the government to deliver services that we have promised our people, hence the people voted us into government. I really want to assure the ANC that I will hold this department and lead this department as expected of me. I want also to thank Portfolio Committee, our Cogta, for the work that we are, and the guidance that we are getting from them. All the time, members, we really appreciate. We don't feel bad when you shout at us and correct us, and we will then learn from you. Nama committee wonke njenga finance scoper, and every time when we come before you, we'll pledge our cooperation, because you must come before you, and you must tell us where we are not doing right, and also we are going to go back and correct some of those things. We want to thank you. I want to thank also uNkulunkulu nje ukuthi angiphelele ithuba lokuthi ngizokwazi ukuma la okwesibili present. Ngiwadingile lamandla ngiwatholile, ngiyabonga. Thanda ukubonga kakhulu ukuthi ke ngibonga umndeni wami, ngibonga umyeni wami. Ngithi ngiyabonga Gebane for the support, you always there for me. Ngiyazi ukuthi ukhona nje, uhleli la ihleli khona uyabuka, ukuthi ke ngiyabonga kakhulu ukubona nomndeni and the boys. Ngihlala namadoda wodwa lapha namantombazana asashada, and the boys, they can be troubled sometimes, but they manage ukungi-accept as the mother. This is not at home all the time, but siyabonga kakhulu. Ngifisa ukubonga, ngigcina ngalamazwi, ngibonga konke executive, upremier. Ngenxa yesikhathi angisezungena ngidlule kakhulu ekubongeni, ngaze kuthiwe angisenaso isikhathi sokuphendula. Ngiyafuna ke ukuthi ngibonge bese ngisho lamagama ukuthi uRuth chapter 1 verse 16 to verse 17 uthi ke uRuth mayikhuluma nomamezala wakhe, unganginciki ukuba ngikushiye ngibuye ngingakulandeli, ngokuba lapho uyakhona ngiyakhona, nalapho uyohlala khona nami ngiyohlala khona. Abantu bakho bayokuba ngabantu bami, uNkulunkulu wakho uyokuba nguNkulunkulu wami. Lapho ufela khona ngiyakufela khona nami, ngimbele khona. uJehova akenze njalo kimi, enezele futhi ngokuba ngokufa kuphela okuya kusahlukanisa ngenzela ukuthi ke lamazi ngisho ukuthi when I'm given a responsibility and opportunity, I don't want to be begged, but I must do the responsibility and appreciate the responsibility that I'm being given, because I'm doing the service to our people. And to the honorable members, thank you very much. I thank you, Chair, for allowing me the 10 minutes then.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. I can see that the MEC is tired. She has done well because she has presented two budget reports today. Can we continue to the next member? The member is the chairperson of the portfolio committee, and she's going to table the budget report, chairperson's budget report. Honorable ZLI for 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Anginamusa ke wexe.
Awunamusa, Chair. Greetings to yourself, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Swatboy, Dombela, Amakosa Sendlungulu, MECs present, Honorable members present in the House, and the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Honorable Chairperson and members of this House, I take this opportunity to table a summary of the committee's deliberation on the 2023-24 budget. The Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs presented on the 23rd of, presented the 2023-24 budget and the annual performance plan at several meetings of Cogta Portfolio Committee. The first draft of the budget was presented at a meeting held on the 2nd of September 2022, and the draft APP presented at a meeting held on the 24th of January 2023. At the meeting mentioned above, the committee had several inputs to the budget and the APP, and these were considered by the department and thereafter incorporated to the final APP and budget. As required by the sector oversight model, the committee held an interactive session at Ilembe District Municipality on the 24th of January 2023, a session which was attended by the stakeholders and the public at large. At this meeting, stakeholders were given an opportunity to table their contributions on the draft APP budget for the 2023-24 to the committee. To continue the vigorous oversight role, the committee considered the final report at a joint finance and Cogta meeting held on the 16th of March 2023. At this meeting, the committee was informed that there were final touches that had to be made to the APP, and the department requested some time to finalize their APP. A meeting to adopt the final APP was then held on the 31st of March 2023, which was to allow the department to make sure that all the inputs were made effectively in the final APP. At both engagements, the committee had an opportunity to cross-examine the budget and the APP of the department. Through deliberations and engagement with the department, the committee noted that the 2023-24 draft APP was compiled, taken into cognizance all relevant laws, policies, strategies, and govern local government, and the APP of the department is aligned to the national and provincial priorities. The National Development Plan, Provincial Growth and Development Plan, the State of the Nation's Address, SONA, the State of the Province Address, SOPA, for the 2023. It is worth noting that the 2023-24 APP has been developed in line with the approved Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, revised framework for strategic plans and APPs. There are some key priorities covered by the APP of the department that are worth mentioning to this House. The APP has put priorities focused on the following areas: delivery of basic services, which is water, electricity, sanitation; infrastructure development as part of the recovery and reconstruction post the April-May flood disasters; district development model being made to be activities of the department to ensure that it is always relevant and aligned to the development agenda in the local government towards accelerating service delivery to our communities. Madam Chairperson, One wishes to report that the Portfolio Committee was very pleased that the department reported its key intervention contained in the 2023-24 APPs responding to priorities and 2020 to 2025 strategic plan by costing them in details. The committee commends the department for transparency displayed in the budget processes. As the Portfolio Committee of Cogta, we are glad that the issue of payment of izinduna back pay has since been resolved, an issue which has been troubling us as the committee for the longest of time and has also been raised on many occasions by the Auditor General. We have worked tirelessly to ensure that this matter is finalized before the end of this term. We thank the department and the government led by the ANC for their efforts to ensure that this matter is resolved. Among other things, it is worth mentioning to this House the following projects that the department is going to implement in this current financial year. 71,226,000 budget is allocated for electricity infrastructure and water interventions, 39,969,000 for the new construction of CSCs and rehabilitation and refurbishment of TACs, 27,135,000 allocated for electrification project, 15,700,000 budgeted for small towns revitalization, 59,746,000 has been allocated for disaster management under Program 3, Development and Planning. The committee will monitor with keen interest the implementation of these projects, among others. The committee commends the department on its spending in the 2022-23 financial year. The Portfolio Committee notes that the department is allocated 2,443,000,000 in the 2023-24 financial year to deliver on its mandate. In the 2022-23 financial year, the Department of Cogta revised adjustment budget was at 1,820,000,000 from the unchanged main appropriation of 2022-23 of 1,820,000,000. Of the 2023-24 final allocation of 631,083,000 is for the payment owed for izinduna. The department has assured the committee that it will follow all necessary internal controls, measures, and processes in the payment of the back pay of izinduna. In this regard, the committee will monitor this matter closely. This is to ensure that all izinduna who are entitled to the back pay are indeed paid what is due to them. The committee was pleased when the department stated that it will fill 210 critical vacant posts in the 2023-24 financial year. The filling of posts will go a long way in addressing the issue of unemployment faced by the province. Moreover, the department has allocated 7.5 million for internal funding towards EPWP integrated grants for the province towards to address the issue of unemployment. This over and above the EPWP grant for the province's conditional grant allocation of 1,960,000,000, which has been allocated to the department for the 2023-24 financial year. In relation to budget transfers to municipalities, which has been budgeted under the goods and services economic categories, the budget for transfers to municipalities is within the 1,500,022,000 budget under goods and services economic category by the department. The department has assured the committee that it has a monitoring mechanism in place, which include a conditional register which gets updated on a monthly basis, and independent visit sites which are conducted by the monitoring subdirectorate to verify project implementation on the ground. The committee has keen interest over budget transfers to municipalities, as it is a committee that wants to ensure that service delivery indeed does happen at the municipal level. The committee wishes to highlight the following areas of concern and areas for noting that arose during the budget hearings. Amongst others, the continuous decline in the EPWP grant allocation over the past financial years. The committee urged the department to ensure that the EPWP grant is utilized fully. Also ensure that the reporting is done on time and adequately to the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. This is to enable the Department of Cogta to increase grant allocation received from National Treasury as
One minute left.
as this grant is primary vehicle for poverty eradication in our community. And the issue of budget cuts was also raised, that it is a huge concern, and we requested our finance portfolio committee to assist us with this one. In conclusion, one wishes to note and appreciate the high sense of agency that the new MEC of Cogta has displayed in taking the issue up of reviewing the stipend to salaries of TC secretaries. We would like to commend you for that, Honorable MEC, and we would like to thank the department and the legislature staff. The budget was voted for, where the ANC supported the budget, the IFP supported the budget, the DA abstained, the IFP the EFF wasn't in the House, and the NFP supported the budget. I thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. We now move to the next speaker of the ANC, Honorable M. Govender, for 10 minutes. Honorable Govender, you are the first speaker for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Let us please observe a moment silence for the Paulo Malo, who died when she unknowingly drove over a bridge. When she unknowingly drove a car over a collapsed bridge in Uganda. This was a legal tragedy, Honorable Chairperson. Let us also keep the over 1,000 residents of the Dakota Informal Settlement and the residents of the Lusaka Informal Settlement, whose homes were razed to the grounds, in our thoughts. Just a moment. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Let me greet everyone in this Freedom Month, which is a time when we celebrate 29 years of freedom and democracy, 29 years since we shot the shackles of apartheid, and 29 years since we gave birth to a free, non-racial, non-sexist and democratic country. April is also the month in which the 1906 Walata rebellion took place, and when 7,000 armed British soldiers struggled to quell the uprising of the Zulu people. It was one of the most brutal and bloody campaigns against an armed rebellion, and was in response to the harsh policies that the Zulu population was subjected to by the colonial administration of the town. It is also 10 years since the enactment of the Native Land Act, as His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa said in his January 8th address. This was a colonial act of dispossession that robbed millions of people land and consigned them to lives of deprivation and misery. And the act continues to have devastating effects on the social and economic position of Black South Africans. It calls upon us to pursue with greater determination the program of land reform and rural development as part of the program of socio-economic transformation, unquote. Honorable Chair, despite what the group says and deny the state, we have to acknowledge that great strides have been made in improving the lives of South Africans. It is, however, indisputable that there is much more that needs to be done. And the ANC is doing just that, as at its 54th National Conference, it emphatically and firmly resolved that urgent and decisive action has to be taken to place our country back on a positive development path that puts the interests of the people first. In declaring 2023 the year of decisive action to advance people's interests, the ANC has recognized the critical role that local government plays in rebuilding local communities and environments as a basis for a democratic, integrated, prosperous, and truly non-racial society. The ANC's urgent priorities for 2023 include specific initiatives to deepen its renewal, accelerating the resolution of the energy crisis, to end load shedding, building the social compact, and improving delivery of basic services and maintaining infrastructure. In prioritizing the resolution of the energy crisis and ending load shedding, The ANC recognizes the insecurity, that insecurity of the electricity supply continues to be one of the greatest impediments to economic recovery and disrupts all South Africans' lives. In building the social compact, the ANC has directed government to continue the work of concluding sectoral compacts that will form pillars of a comprehensive social compact with all social partners, with the aim of supporting the broad approach and principles of the economic reconstruction and recovery plan. So there has to be a socializing, a mobilizing of social partners. And in addition, this compact set up obligations, commitments, and trade-offs needed from the private sector, organized labor, and civil society to ensure effective social and economic recovery. As the Portfolio Committee, we are pleased to see that working with stakeholders is included in the program of the work of the department, which intends to support municipalities in providing a conducive environment for the private sector to participate and increase opportunities for investment through effective implementation of municipal revenue enhancement strategies and municipal development incentive strategies. The department also supports municipalities to promote participation in community-based local governance processes and to respond to community concerns. The intention of this is to promote citizen participation and increase the responsiveness of local government communities. The department has committed itself to ensuring that there is alignment between the national, provincial, and local government priorities, and is committed to working with different stakeholders towards the achievement of these priorities, as outlined in the NGSF. In fact, Cogta is so aligned with its budget, contributes to priorities 1, 2, 5, and 6 of the NGSF. And the 23-24 APP of the department contains many indicators that reflect these priorities, which are also the priorities that were outlined by His Excellency President Ramaphosa when he delivered the January statement this year and the State of the Nation address. Honourable Speaker, the NDP chairperson, the NDP stipulates that the country supports long-term economic objectives and development goals. We need to focus on investing in basic services such as electricity, water, sanitation, telecommunications, and public transport. And the provision of these basic services, like electricity, water, and sanitation, fall within the realm of local government, and Cogta, as the coordinating department, has to ensure that in order for these to be delivered, there has to be improved municipal and traditional institutional capacity, improved coordination of service delivery, and improved institutional capacity. Cogta has allocated 2.44 billion in the 23-24 financial year, and to deliver on this mandate and to ensure that the priorities as outlined by government are addressed. 631.03 billion of the budget goes to the back pay owed to Siduna. The Portfolio Committee is pleased to note that the department's 23-24 APP is aligned to national and provincial priorities, as I have said before. The key priorities of the department include delivery of basic services, infrastructure development as part of recovery and reconstruction, post the April-May flood disasters, the DDM being key to the activities of the department to ensure that it is always relevant and aligned with the development agenda in local government towards accelerating service delivery. I'll talk on some of these and my colleagues are covering the rest. The department's main focus in 2023-24 will include monitoring the implementation of service delivery programs relating to electricity, water, and sanitation, indigent policies, as well as operational and maintenance plans. Honourable Chairperson, the department transfers a large amount from the 1.5 to 2 billion budgeted under goods and services to municipalities. And as the Portfolio Committee, we want to see service delivery taking place at municipal level. In this regard, we have been assured by the department that there are monitoring mechanisms in place, and there's a conditional register that's updated on a monthly basis, as well as independent site visits that they conduct to verify project implementation on the ground. Honourable Chairperson, as this House is well aware, there has been underspending on the part of municipalities, including spending on traditional grants and disaster funds, and this requires close monitoring, as we can ill afford to have funds returned to the national fiscus. We therefore strongly support the department's intention to provide support to municipalities to ensure that they implement business plans and achieve their milestones. The department will be supporting municipalities with the implementation of electrification programs to provide an increased supply of electricity to community, as well as with the implementation of the electricity asset management framework. The remedial plans will be put in place for those municipalities that are not compliant. The department, the areas that we covered in 23-24 include Kanyakude, Ubu, Amajuba District Municipality, and the Msunduzi Local Municipality. And to this end, 27.135 million of the 21.226 million budgeted for electricity infrastructure and water interventions goes towards electrification projects. In terms of water, the department is addressing the ANC priority of increasing the number of citizens with access to water will assist in the implementation of 7 water master plan intervention programs in water service authorities. And together with the Department of Water and Sanitation, it will monitor municipalities through WSDP review meetings to enhance existing municipal water service delivery plans. The department is also including
1 minute left.
Both consumer and government debt owed to municipalities, the reduction of Eskom debt owed to municipalities, and the achievement of favorable audit outcomes by municipalities as part of its priorities. We also welcome the budgeting to provide support to distressed municipalities and the package of professional support to improve municipal governance. Honorable Speaker Chairperson, we as the ANC support the Cogta budget. We want to raise the issue of underpaid funding of this department, and we've requested the Finance Portfolio Committee to motivate for additional funding from National Treasury. In conclusion, Honorable Chairperson, as the ANC, we admit that progress has not been sufficient. There are many municipalities that are not delivering as they should, but as the ANC, we want to say that great progress has been made in meeting people's most basic needs, and we have done much to transform local government and build better communities. Through our program of renewal, as agreed upon in our People's Conference, we want to...
Thank you, Honorable Member. Your time is up. Thank you, Honorable Member. The next speaker to deliberate is an IFP member, Honorable O.P. Kunene, for 10 minutes.
The Honorable Chairperson, the Honorable Leader of the Official Opposition, the Honorable MECs present, Amakosa Zendlukulu, Honorable members of this Portfolio Committee, officials of the Portfolio Committee, and senior officials of the department, the SALCA Chairperson as greeted by the Honorable MEC, I greet him as well. It is my singular honor to represent the IFP in this debate. Local government is an important sphere in the governance framework of our country. This sphere is closest to the people. When other spheres fail to deliver services to the people of our country, the people would vent their frustration by marching in a local municipality. If the local sphere fails to render services, it becomes a double blow to the residents of that municipality. This demonstrates the huge task that this department is facing to ensure that the local sphere of government is functional and that this sphere delivers services to the residents, and that this department should provide the necessary support to municipalities within our province. This department has a responsibility of our traditional affairs as well. This is also a very important branch of this department, which the department must provide resources to, financial and otherwise. If we are truly committed to ensuring that the traditional affairs branch functions that it should, more resources should be allocated to it. It starts with powers and functions of traditional leaders, which the IFP, through its founder, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, has always lamented about. The IFP has always and continues to call for the amendment of the constitution of our country to allow for clearly defined powers of traditional leaders within the democratic dispensation of our country. Whatever everyone can say about the recognition and paying due respect to Amakosa and Isilo, if this matter is not addressed, whoever is talking will only be paying lip service and not genuinely committed to giving Amakosi and Isilo due respect that they deserve. I invite all honorable members of this committee to speak loudly about this matter so that this message reaches the ears of those who lead this country. It is not good that traditional councils do not have even a small budget allocated to them by this department, which they can use to buy stationery or even make a cup of coffee or tea when they hold meetings on their own. The IFP welcomes the 2.4 billion budget allocated to this department for this financial year 2023-2024. Of this allocation, it is pleasing to note that an amount of 631 million is set aside for the payment of the back pay to Zinduna. We congratulate the department that finally this matter, which has been a source for major concern, is resolved. Iqembu leNkatha liyazibonga izinduna ngokubekezela kwazo ngenkathi lolu daba lusasetshenzwa kwaze kwafika lesikhathi lapho selixazululeka khona. Izinduna njengabo bonke abantu zifanele impilo engcono ngoba mkhulu umsebenzi eziwenzayo zisebenza ngaphansi kwamakhosi zisebenzela isizwe. Ezinye izindaba ezimnandi ngezokuthi onobhala bamakhosi sebezohlomula kangcono kunalesi sibonelelo sobugqila ebesiwu 1600 ngenyanga abakade benxeshezelwa ngaso nguhulumeni yonke leminyaka edlule. Ngangiyiphele endlebeni kumhlonishwa uHlomuka ngabuye ngayibika le ndaba kumhlonishwa uZikalala njengoba sigcina ilunga ngaphansi kamhlonishwa uMasithole wakamloyi. I remember vividly that there was a time where it was like I was hitting my head against the wall when I called for attention to this matter. But I continued to raise it because I regarded it as an injustice that this department was paying a stipend of 1,600 per month to traditional council secretaries. I commend the HOD, Mr. Tubane, and his team for finding a solution to this long outstanding problem, and also the sterling leadership provided by the Honorable MEC in resolving this matter. Even though I remember how difficult it was for me to get the HOD to accept that this matter requires attention. I had hope, Honorable MC, that we were moving away from a stipend to a salary, because the traditional council secretaries actually deserve a salary. A salary which will enable them to enjoy pension benefits, because they are working for so many years, but there's no contribution to pension that they are making. So I just don't want to be misunderstood. I really appreciate that the stipend has been increased. It surely would make a huge difference to the livelihoods of the TC secretaries. But there is a part that they should be employees so that they would enjoy stipend benefits. I mean, they will say that they will enjoy pension benefits so that their lives and their livelihoods can be improved. The IFP welcomes the 15.7 million budget allocated for the small town revitalization program. This is a very important program which the department, together with the Department of Economic Development and Tourism, must collaborate on in order to grow the economies of the small towns, upgrade the infrastructure of these towns, as the Honorable MEC had said, find a solution to traffic congestion and overcrowding that is experienced by the residents of these small towns during month ends, because we will not even wish to go there when it is month end, and during the payment of social benefits, and during holidays, the way it is crowded. So it is pleasing that there's some money and there's a focus, and the fact that the Honorable MEC says it's a bit by bit approach that the department is approaching this matter with, so that few municipalities are given full attention. I mean, full attention is appreciated. The IFP wishes that it becomes a norm for this department and all other government departments and the entities of government to obtain clean audits from the Auditor General. As a matter of course, public finances should be used prudently and should be channeled to improving the quality of lives of the people of our country and our province. We hope that we will not see any underspending of this budget and that all vacant posts will be filled in order to strengthen the capacity of this department to render services as per its mandate. The IFP appreciates that an amount of 71 million rand has been set aside in this budget for electricity infrastructure and water intervention, electrification projects, which will be undertaken in Mkhanyakude, Ugu, Amajuba district municipalities, including Msunduzi. The Honorable MEC of Water and Sanitation, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, during the taking parliament to the people in Ugu last year, announced that an amount of 150 million was going to be allocated to address water challenges. I wish to know, Honorable MEC, whether are you in a position to shed some light on whether the Honorable Minister has fulfilled this promise or not? Disaster management. The IFP notes that in this budget, an amount of 59.7 million has been set aside for disaster management under Program 3. Our province will continue to face disaster, as we all know. In fact, the Sunday Times of 16 April 2023 had a headline, "Warning, worse ahead." In this article, Professor Francois Engelbrecht, the head of global change at VEST, is quoted as saying, quote, "The Durban floods a year ago were the worst, but they were not the first." He continues to say, there is more energy in the atmosphere for more intense storm systems because we are warming the planet, and there's more rainfall.
1 minute left.
And there's more rainfall than ever before. There's more evaporation from the world's ocean warming. This article continues to quote Professor Engelbrecht, who is actually saying, making more people may die in flooding and tropical cyclones in Southern Africa unless cities develop early warning systems and community evacuation procedures and improve the management of stormwater drains. This could save thousands or tens of thousands of lives in the next 10 years. Community-based early flood warning systems are an important part of the solution, close quote. I think I can stop there, Honorable Chairperson, and I will come back.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The next speaker to debate is a DA member, Honorable L.M. Mayor, for 8 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, Honorable MECs present. I stand before you in solidarity with the LGBTIQ community of Uganda, where new, even more draconian laws threaten their very existence. May freedom and love reign across our beautiful Africa. This department, cooperative government and traditional affairs, speak to the very dream we had in 1994. It reminds us of a time when we believed in a new era of cooperation, not just between different spheres of government, but also between the peoples of our country. And it also speaks to a new era of correcting the wrongs of the past by giving a place to traditional authorities that was ignored and attacked by the colonial and apartheid regimes. But where we stand now, 1994 sometimes feels centuries away, and we may have to start speaking of a dream deferred. For some in this country and in this very house are more interested in spreading hate and shouting abuse than they are in working with the spirit of cooperation to improve the lives of the people of KZN. Whatever I say here today will be discounted and lambasted by some of you here, not because of what I'm saying, but merely because the color of my party is blue and the color of my skin happens to be white. I'm very aware, Chairperson, of the wrongs of the past done by my forefathers. And walking in the streets of my province, I'm reminded of this often. But I'm also very aware that this is my country too. I was born here like so many generations of my family before me. I'm not only from South Africa and from Africa, I'm in Africa and Africa is in me. So I stand here speaking on this budget today as someone who loves his country and his province, and as a patriot. And as a patriot, I cannot be blind to the good in my country, but I cannot be blind to that is wrong. For if we ignore the wrongs, it is but the poor and the marginalized in our province that will suffer. So let us start with the good, Chairperson. The officials of this department do financially run a very tight ship, and compliments should go to the HOD and his team for keeping the reins on the department's finances and for doing their very best to bring forth a balanced budget, as much as is possible within the current political and economic climate that this department has to function in. KZN remains a province battered by disasters, some natural, some man-made, and it is our municipalities that bears the brunt of these disasters. And therefore, we look to Cogta to not only deal with these disasters, but also prepare our province and our municipalities for them. And the officials of this department truly do try their best to achieve that. Let me also compliment where it's deserved, and under our chairperson, the Cogta committee is decisive in executing its oversight role, and I'm confident that this committee will continue to play that role over the budget. But Chair, we cannot with honesty stand in this house and say all is well with local government in KZN. The municipalities of this province, excepting one, is in a mess. In the beginning of this week, the DA leader, the Honourable Francois Rogers, compared the fiscal situation in this province to the Titanic. But honestly, there are some municipalities where I would rather take my chances on the Titanic than live there. At least on the Titanic, it only sank once. These municipalities are sinking over and over and over again. So if the core function of Cogta is to empower our municipalities, we must not give it a passing mark here. And sadly, the political leadership, the list of free MECs that marched in and out of this department, sometimes seem more intent on playing politics and is selective in where intervention happens, which is why the current MEC, unfortunately, is losing court cases. The Titanic only sank once. How often must our municipalities sink? And it's but the poor and the marginalized of our province that suffers. And let me add to your chairperson that, as I said, there's only one point of light in this province, and thank the voters of Umgeni for that light, that is shining in a dark and sinking province. But does the ANC decide to go and look and learn from Councillor Papas and his team? No, the ANC's answer is to try and retake Umgeni through the back door of demarcation, a back door that the demarcation committee itself said today is not going to happen. That is this government's approach. Everybody must sink with them, and it's but the poor and the marginalized that suffer. One point in this budget has left me with very mixed feelings, and that is the Disaster Management Centre. The riots and the double floods have shown the shortcomings of the centre, and we have heard from the HOD that the centre will remain dangerously understaffed, while some concerns from the AG is being addressed. But even with an increase in the budget for the centre, and we welcome this increase, MEC, years of underfunding has left us with serious problems at the centre. The people of KZN deserve a state-of-the-art, high-tech disaster management centre. We do have excellence in our country, and we can build such a high-tech tech centre, and there's a fantastic one in the Western Cape. But then we are going to have to bite the bullet and make the capital investment in getting our centre there. This is not a nice-to-have. A high-tech disaster management centre is a must-have. Lives depend on it. We cannot continue to gamble with the lives of our people. We need to enter the 21st century. For years, we've been hearing about the fourth industrial revolution, but the disaster management centre is one place where we really need it. Sadly, I must say, electricity is the second industrial revolution, so it seems under Eskom we're still a bit far off from the fourth one. I must also say that DA's provincial leader and myself tried to visit the disaster management centre, but sadly we weren't allowed past the foyer. I did see 4 boardrooms, so at least the government has somewhere nice to sit and meet after the disasters have happened. But the disaster management centre cannot help us with another terrible disaster that plagues our province: municipalities under administration. When Section 139 interventions are done, one expects to see an improvement in municipalities, but this generally does not seem to be the case in KZN. In some cases, I wonder if we shouldn't put the administrators under administration. Go ask the people of Utukela if their lives have improved. In a report that served before the Cogta Portfolio Committee, we see the same issues. These municipalities under administration fail to spend their grants, are in danger of losing some of those grants. Most of them have reported serious cash flow problems and crippling SCM challenges. And it is but the poor and the marginalized that suffer. Some of these municipalities aren't new to the state of administration. Umsinyati was put on administration in 2016. That's 7 years, honourable members. Mpufana also in 2017, 6 years. Others in 2018, 2019. And like a car stuck in neutral, there they remain. An administration that's supposed to be a temporary measure, KZN that seems to be rather permanent. Of the 8 municipalities under administration, 4 have unfunded budgets. But I recognize that the MEC in her speech today has announced a revived approach to these municipalities, and we welcome this and we will watch this closely, MEC. At least the Titanic had some lifeboats. For the residents of KZN municipalities, bearing one, there is none. If they look to this provincial government for assistance, we can only shrug and say there's no hope for you here. No wonder by-election after by-election sees the residents of this province look for hope elsewhere, for it is but the poor and the marginalized that suffer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The next speaker to deliberate is an EFF member, Honorable M.W. Twala, for 9 minutes. Is there an apology? Oh, they did not give me an amended list. I'm told that Honorable Twala has apologized. We can now move on to the next speaker, Honorable RZP Zulu of the ANC for 10 minutes.
Sihlalo Mhlonishwa, Swartboy Ntombela, MEC Sithole Mloyi, MEC Nxamalala, members of this house, abasilalele nasey'nkundleni zokuxhumana, sifisa ukubingelela. Ngiyafisa ukubingelela ngokukhethekileyo amakhosi asendlunkulu. Sihlalo, sisebancane, sithathe isinqumo sokuzibandakanya nolusha likaKhongolose. Satholana nabafowethu nodadewethu emzabalazweni. Sivuke ngezindaba ezibuhlungu ekuqaleni kwesonto uma sizwa izindaba zokudlula kukamfowethu uThemba Njapha waseJosiah Gumede region. Sithi dude emndenini. But when he was deployed by the ANC at a local government level, he represented us well. We are very proud of you as your generation. Sithi lala ngoxolo sodubo. Kade sihlalo ngizwa abahlonishwa bebonga umbutho. Nami ngiyafisa ukubonga iDRSB branch nazo zonke izinhlaka zombutho wesizwe ukunginika ithuba lokuthi ngizomela kulendlu yokushaya umthetho esifundazweni. At the commencement of the 2021-2022 financial year, the province experienced devastating floods. The World Weather Attribution to KZN flood scientific report states that climate change exacerbated rainfall as the root cause. The historical injustices that continue to affect spatial planning, governance challenges, aging infrastructure, a lack of clear early warning, etc., compounded upon one another to create the disaster. Preventing future disasters requires rapid and inclusive adaptation that considers changes in both the return time of extreme weather events and existing vulnerability and exposure. The PDMC undertook a benchmarking exercise by visiting other provinces throughout the country to determine best practices that can be implemented within the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Amongst these best practices, it is the development of an integrated information management and communication systems, which the PMDC will procure in the upcoming financial year, and which we really support that. Sihlalo, sisasikubalule futhi sibonge kakhulu kulabo abaseseka sibhekene nalenhlekelele. Siyathoba kakhulu kwisilo esibusayo. Sadlala enkulu indima. Inkosi kubusise bayede. Njengesishayamthetho sasibuthaka kakhulu kodwa indima eyadlalwa abezenkolo ngokwehlukana kwazo esifundazweni. Siyabonga kakhulu ukusithwala ukuseseka. uJehova womusa sengathi anganibusisa. Kuwonke umuntu obamba iqhaza sithi nje siyabonga kakhulu. The devastating floods robbed us of one of the dedicated rescue officers, Sergeant Busi Mjwaha of SAPS K9 unit. You are forever in our thoughts, Dadewethu. Qhubeka ulale ngokuthula. Accelerated sustainable development can be achieved through effective integrated planning, including local LED and implementation of schemes and provision of basic services. The purpose of this program is to promote informed
integrated planning and development in the province. The program consists of the following sub-programs, namely the spatial planning and land use management. And when we translate it, it is an act as well, it's Luma. But ke siyafisa sihlalo unxenxa futhi sinxuse labo abanikezela ngezindawo zokwakha ukuthi baqikekele ukuthi abaziniki iziza osebeni lemifula. Imithetho eshayayo kulindeleke ukuthi siyigcine sonke. We are urging that floodplains must be avoided at all costs. Still, we appreciate all forms of funding and grant funding in the main that were allocated to the municipalities. However, it is of great concern that when it comes to expenditure, we believe that there are a number of contributory factors. Siyafisa ibuke naleyo ukuthi ngokuhlukana kokuphela kweminyaka mali kuyaba nomthelela. Uthola ukuthi uhulumeni wesifundazwe ngalesikhathi eyisa kuhulumeni uma eqala unyaka wezimali omusha in April, uma ekhipha imali eyisa kuhulumeni wasekhaya, uhulumeni wasekhaya nawo usuke eseyela ephelelweni i-financial year yakhe ngoba iyaphela ngoJune. So siyacela ke Mhlonishwa mhlambe sibe nayo indlela, akhona areas of improvement esiwanotile as the committee. Kodwa futhi siyafisa ukuncoma Mhlonishwa uSithole Mloyi that we acknowledge the department that it has developed programs to monitor and support municipalities on the implementation of infrastructure development grants, whether it is UMIG, WSIG, and RBIG. We strongly believe that municipalities will regard this as intervention as opposed to interference. Ngoba ikhona kwesinye isikhathi i-resistance umnyango oyitholayo uma u-intervene in some aspect. Asibonga kakhulu ukuthi umnyango eminyakeni edlule ufake 32 million for construction of disaster management centers and in some instances for equipping existing disaster management centers. We would like to commend work done by dedicated officials in those centers. Their commitment was clear during time of disasters. Kodwa ke asikusho mphathiso ukuthi we are also concerned with the number of vacancies in this unit. We therefore urge department to prioritize filling the vacancies. Honorable Chair, as MEC has reported that the PMDC has established a solid relationship with the South African Weather Services to monitor and disseminate developing weather warnings and advisories to alert stakeholders and communities that are likely to be affected. Sifisa ke ukugqugquzela ukuthi asiwathathe lama warnings and siwasebenzise. Kwenye inkathi ke sibe sikwazi ukuphepha uma sikwazile ukwalalela kahle. Ngiyafisa sihlalo ukuthi on grant funding allocated to municipalities siyawa notice kakhulu as uMEC ewanikezelile. In the interest of time ngicela ukungayi kuyona ngayodwa ngayinye, kodwa siyakuqaphela ukuthi a very specific, siyacela asetshenziswele lokho abecelelwe khona ngoba umnyango awugcinanga nje lapho ube usuqhamuka nesu lama conditions for grant funding. Siyacela ukuthi lokho abathi bazokwenza bakwenze kuyosilekelela ukuthi one ama grant asebenze futhi asebenze la kufaneleke khona, but also asebenze in a way that it complies with the pieces of legislation that governs ukusebenza kukahulumeni wesifundazwe noma nohulumeni wasekhaya. Siyafisa also ukuweseka umnyango on its program revitalization of small towns. It's a program that talks directly to LED. The department is on the right track in terms of the economic transformation agenda. We really support this one. Sihlalo nomphathiswa sesikushilo konke kodwa zikhona izinto kumele umnyango usondele kuzona njengoyalela kuka chapter 6 Section 155, subsection 7 of the Constitution of the Republic. As both the national and provincial government have the legislative and executive authority to see the effective performance by municipalities of their functions. Sikusho lokho ngoba ziyanda izigameko zokungalandeli imithetho elawula ukusebenza komasipala lapha esifundazweni. Mphathiswa kunomasipala omise
1 minute left.
noma okunezinsolo ukuthi umise amakhansela. Waya umphathiswa okwandulele washiya azi ukuthi amakhansela azobuyisela namhlanje awakabuyisela. It cannot be correct ukuthi we defy the legislative framework, particularly the Systems Act and the Structures Act. I'm very specific on masipala wasemthonjaneni. Siyafisa ukuthi kulandelelwe. Ziningana nakho igameko ezivelayo kodwa siyocela ukuthi umnyango usondele kakhulu ukuze ukusebenza kahulumeni wasekhaya kube okuyikhona. Egameni lombutho wesizwe siyaleseka uhlahlo lwabuyomali lomnyango waka Cogta. Siyabonga sihlalo.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. The next speaker to deliberate is an NFP member, Honorable C.M. Shinga, for 3 minutes.
Honorable Chair, Honorable MEC, Honorable Ele, the Chairperson of the Cogta Portfolio Committee, Honorable members. The NFP is pleased to note that the department made provision for the 3% cost of living adjustment as per National Treasury guidelines and the provision for filling of vacant posts as mentioned in the estimates of the provincial revenue and expenditure 2023-2024. I am pleased to learn that the department also made provision of the 12% for the purpose of filling of 210 vacant posts. However, the NFP recommends that the department reconsider its decision to cater for the employment of 11 vacant posts in 2024-2025 instead of 2025-2026 as the MTF growth in 2024-2025 can accommodate the employment process of the 11 vacant posts while avoiding significant budget cuts. Honorable Chair, the current access to electricity in KZN is at 93.8% and municipalities owe about 2.7 billion to ESCOM in the province. The NFP calls for an immediate intervention from the National Treasury and stakeholders to help the department to fast track the support to municipalities with the implementation of the electricity master plan, as the department only has 30 million to cater for hotspot municipalities in the province like Umkhanyakude, Uku, Amajuba, and Umsunduzi. The TC elections have been long overdue, and learning that they are likely to be postponed until 2023-2024 is unfortunate. The NFP requests that the department guarantee that these elections take place prior or before the national elections. I'm also pleased to learn that EPWP integrated grant has allocated 1.960 million in the department. This amount, however, must be raised to accommodate more than, or must be increased to accommodate more than 250 learners who would benefit from the learnership initiative. Honorable MEC, like Honorable Ele said, the NFP supported the budget and pledged to support and monitor the program and the plan of implementation in the Department of Cogta programs. Ngiyabonga sihlalo. Oh, I'm also privileged ukuma phakathi kwabantwana basendlunkulu. Yebo, ngiyabonga sihlalo.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable members, we have received an apology from Honorable Thakur Rajbansi, who was going to debate for 3 minutes. And an apology from Honorable M.E. Pakati, who was going to debate for 3 minutes. We now move on to the next speaker of the ANC, Honorable M.A. Zulu, for 11 minutes.
Thanks, Chairperson. Honorable members, members of the Executive Council, the media present. Honorable Chairperson, it is a tremendous honor and privilege to debate during the tabling of the Vote 11 budget policy speech. This debate takes place in a very historic day on this day, whereby our former President Nelson Mandela made his statement from the dock in the opening of the defense case in the Rivonia trial, Pretoria Supreme Court on the 20th April 1964. In his remarks, former President Mandela made it plain to the apartheid government that he is prepared to lay down his life to fight for the freedom. When he stood in that dock together with others who were on trial, he cited that his death sentence that was hanging over them will not intimidate them, but it will show the world that how courageous the man that stood for something great. As we debate for the Vote 11 budget policy speech, we feel that it is appropriate that we remember the valiant effort of those that have just gone before us, those that have sacrificed their lives in order for us to be able to be here today under a democratic dispensation to deliberate on how best to serve our people. Honorable Mayor, I think I is Wale. The Corporate Governance and Regional Affairs Department continues to have an important role to perform in improvement of our lives and our communities. The department has been entrusted with supporting and capacitating the sphere of local government within our province for it to service our communities with excellence. And this department is doing this with greater heart. The department is also entrusted with making ensure that there is an oversight of institutional traditional leadership, which is one of the pillars that our communities are constructed on. The rollout of the district development model presents a unique opportunity for all spheres of government to work as one in the interest of our communities through the common approach as exposed in the DDM. KZN Cogta, therefore, has the mandate to improve the intergovernmental relations and institutionalization of the planning function across all spheres of government through DDM. Through the improved data collection and management and the deployment of big data analysis, our municipality should be able to position itself in better to design, plan, and manage its own developments. Honorable members, this planning must also produce a resilient municipalities that can withstand storms, manage urbanization, and absorb shocks during times of national disasters. KZN Cogta is therefore the custodian of disaster management, fire and rescue services within our province. We accept the budget of 59,746,000 given to our disaster management. But it's not enough, MEC. We are pleading. But we have just discussed with the Finance Portfolio Committee and also with the Cogta Portfolio Committee that we need to appeal to the national, that we need more funds for disaster since there are challenges throughout our province. And we applaud the work done by disaster management in containing some of the disasters within our province, but we're still not happy, of course. The shortage of staff within our PDMC is still a challenge. We have also looked upon to the disasters centers in dealing with any crisis within the province. And we've just observed that there's still a crisis in terms of capacity. So far, we will plead that PDMC still do more in terms, because what we have observed
is that every time when there are crises in municipalities, PDMC is supposed to intervene, and municipalities are found wanting. So we need that intervention. But we'll be making a mistake if we don't appreciate the work that was done by disaster management during the COVID-19, whereby they were coordinating all departments in one roof to ensure that people were assisted since COVID-19 was declared as the national disaster. We are also appreciating the work that has been done by Cogta in supporting Amajuba and Umziyati management centers. And currently we are aware that the department is also sourcing funding to fund Ndwedwe local municipality and Herikwala municipality. The department has also sourced the funding for April 1st for different municipalities which were affected within the province. It was Ilembe, Umgungundlovu, Utugela, eThekwini, Ilembe, Umgungundlovu, and Utugela. Some of these municipalities have received the funding, but we will also request, therefore, the MEC that you monitor this funding, because whether it does what is being planned for, so that we don't have a problem. As a province, we have learned many lessons which we expect it will be implemented across all municipalities on the importance of disaster risk reduction and fighting climate change. The implementation of DDM should be able to position us in a stronger footing in terms of disaster response and risk reduction. The positive progress that we are observing in full participation of municipalities working together with the provincial and national government to plan, coordinate, and implement gives us hope. But there are, of course, districts like Zululand, Oskili Pambana Nopo, abangakuboni ukubaluleka koku-attenda i-DDM. And that's why uyobona isinenkinga eqhubekayo emphakathini yakhele iZululand. DDM, which integrates all these three spheres of government in coordinating plans and budgets and mobilizing the capacity and resources of government and civil society, including business, labor, and community, does not community in pursuit of inclusive growth and job creation. Still, there are municipalities within the IFP-led municipalities that are not taking part in this. This is how much they are committed in keeping our communities and their voters in the dark cloud about government programs and plans by the government to liberate them from poverty. The president of the ANC in his first ever SONA articulated his vision for a capable and ethical developmental stage, which underpins all 7 priorities of the MTSF. It is a vision of a strong leadership, a focus on people, and improved implementation capability. Facilitating this vision into action will only involve a transition from a more functional and an integrated government, which is capacitated with professional, responsive, and meritocratic public servants. My question would be, what is the contribution of the IFP to this, to their municipalities? How can the people of KwaZulu-Natal entrust them in such an important, intricate vision to an organization that proudly employs municipal managers, sometimes who are not even proper and valid qualifications in some municipalities? Is that how much you disrespect and undermine the people of your municipalities? What about the IFP's sex job? Kuno councillor lapho Thukela ANC namhlanje yamasha ngoba inkatha ya decide ukuthi ungalenzi lutho le council. Where's part of it the councillor uAbbas Wasali of the IP who has the youngest sex victim of 14 years? Ubona intombi ke mayibona umuntu na 14 ama councillor ala bantu. We are also aware that the IP has failed to suspend the defiant mayor in Abaqulusi, Mncedisi Maphisi, who described himself as uye kuphela inkunzi ekhwela zonke izithole la kamasipala. Ufele. And also, it's disappointing when you look what has been happening in Zululand. There's an illegal recognition of
minute left.
Councillor Betuel Ngumalo of the NFP from Zululand by IFP to attend meetings where there is not gazetted. We wish to state it quite categorically that the Zululand Municipality Council is illegally constituted and it was formed by the participation of person who does not even appear in the IEC list. Whereas part of it is not even gazetted. This renders the council that all its decisions are illegal. Despite the enormous challenges faced by our local government, it is also important that we never underestimate how far we have gone or we have traveled since 1994 to build a local sphere of government that contributes to the realization of a South Africa that is truly united, non-racial, non-sexist, equal, and prosperous. We support the budget. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The next speaker to deliberate is an ACDP member, Honorable S.E. Mangele, for 3 minutes. Honorable S.E. Mangele for 3 minutes. Honorable S.E. Mangele for 3 minutes. I've called Honorable S.E. Mangele for 3 times now. I think he's not connected. We may now move. We are moving to the next speaker, DA speaker, Honorable L.M. Mayor for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. And it is the poor and the marginalized that suffers. I need to touch on 2 particular worrisome matters, Umsumduzi and eThekwini. Our provincial capital is a disgrace. The ANC government should be ashamed of the state of the city. And you can't blame the floods for this. For years under ANC government, our capital city has become a dump. Rubbish everywhere, failing infrastructure, potholes as big as the holes the ANC throws money in. The saying in this capital goes, you can either have electricity or you can have water, but you can't have both at the same time. Under administration since 2019, April, things are not better but worse. A worsening in the AG report, only 36% of audit findings resolved by November last year, serious underspending on the municipal infrastructure grant, cash coverage in the red, and serious Eskom debt. The state of PMB comes down to plain, bad, incompetent government. Chair, our MEC is new, so we will give her the benefit of the doubt. But please bring hope to the people of the capital. Let them no longer feel shame for living here. The people of this city is packing up and moving up the hill to Umgeni. I wonder why. And through it all, it is the poor and the marginalized that suffers. And then, Speaker, oh boy, eThekwini. There is a bigger stink in the metro than the broken sewage plants and rivers of eThekwini. And that is the stink that hangs over City Hall in the metro. And the problems in the metro was there long before the floods. The sewage plants were failing before the floods. The city was facing financial difficulty before the floods. Corruption was bringing the metro on its knees before the floods. The DA has called under Section 139 intervention in the metro. Now seeing how this is failing elsewhere, I'm not so sure if it's the right thing, but honestly, urgent intervention is needed, MEC in eThekwini. If the metro fails, KZN fails, and through it all, it will be the poor and the marginalized that suffers. Chair, the DA agrees with this budget, although we would really like to see a lot more spent on Disaster Management Centre. But truly, the officials have shown themselves to be wizards, making something appear out of nothing. But, Chairperson, we have to be honest, and we have to see the challenges in our municipalities, and we have to ensure that Cogta lives up to its mandate to improve our municipalities. We cannot be blinded by an uncritical loyalty to our parties. We cannot be blinded by mistrust of each other. We cannot be blinded by short-term political ambitions. so that we do not see the poor and the marginalized of our towns and cities suffering. I was deeply concerned by the hateful tirade we heard in this house but a few days ago from the MEC. And it is with this approach that we won't save our municipalities in our province. Everything I said here today is based on facts and figures that was found in reports of this very Cogta, as well as answers to questions posed to the MEC. But more so, it is the very real lived experience every day
Round up.
of millions
You've got
of
1 minute
residents
left.
of KZN. And one can stand up and spew hate and distrust. One can speak about my race and about the evils of capitalism and ignore the facts and figures. But this won't fool these millions of people who live the truth of a lack of service delivery every day. For it is the poor and the marginalized that suffers. So let us cooperate, as we do in our committee, to find solutions. Let us in this house not be blinded by hate. Let us open our eyes and see the struggles of our people. For it is the poor and the marginalized, Chairperson, that suffers. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. The next speaker to debate is Honorable Member O.B. Kunene of the IFP for 5 minutes.
Honorable Chairperson, it is unfortunate that Honorable Zulu decided to launch an attack against the IFP. I don't know whether perhaps he's eyeing a position in the MEC so that he's seen as somebody who can attack the IFP, thus get promotion. All that I can say is that to call Zululand District Municipality Uskulu Pambana no Pogo is unfortunate on his part. All that he says against the IFP is not true. And one just doesn't wish to use this platform to fire back, because I can gladly do that. So I just wish to say that for his information, Mayor Mapisa was removed from the position of Mayor in Abakodosi, contrary to what he says. And if the Zululand District Municipality is legally constituted, the Honorable MEC and the government can take the municipality to court in order to challenge that. But it's just unfortunate that he will decide to launch this diatribe against the IFP. So that I don't get derailed deliberately by him, let me go back to what I had prepared to say. We remain concerned about the capacity of administrators that the department deploys to the different municipalities that are under administration in terms of Section 139. Some of these administrators do not have a track record of turning institutions around. If I like using Honorable Zulu's language, I would say the ANC deployed appointment administrators, but I don't want to play that cheap game that he plays. Some of the administrators that are appointed have failed in their previous jobs, and some are about to be disciplined by their employers and chose to resign their jobs only to emerge as administrators of some of the municipalities within a province appointed by this department. There are some municipalities which have been under administration since 2011. For example, that is Utugela District Municipality. This is unbelievable. It begs a question, Honorable MEC, what purpose is achieved by the intervention, and also questions the ability of those appointed as administrators to turn these municipalities around. And the intervention can only be effective if it is for a defined period of time with milestones set to be achieved within a reasonable time frame. We are pleased that the Honorable MEC covered this matter adequately in pages 14 and 15 of her speech. We support her for that. We are also, as the IFP, concerned about forensic investigations that the department commissions whose outcome are not made public. We hope that this could be corrected. The IFP is keen to know how much does the department spend on forensic investigations it commissions. There's also, there were forensic investigation conducted for Zinqoleni and Mzwabantu municipalities, which up to now, the public does not know the outcome thereof. The Daily News newspaper of 17 April had a headline which read as follows: was city manager appointed legally? This article referred to the appointment of the city manager of a Ethekwini municipality, Mr. Musampele,
1 minute left.
who according to the report was found to have been appointed when he was supposed to face disciplinary measures. The Inkatha Freedom Party supports the budget of the department and hopes that the matters that we raise in this department will receive due consideration in the interest of good governance. We wish to thank the support staff of this portfolio committee, the coordinator, Mrs. Mlife, committee researcher, non-financial administrators, Ms. Timpisane, and Mr. Tipa, the committee researcher, financial matters, without whose sterling work this portfolio committee would not be able to do all the work it has managed to do and will continue to do. I thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The last speaker to debate is an ANC member, Honorable S. Nkosi, for 11 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, the members of the Provincial Executive, both of them, amakhosi asendlunkulu, izinduna zamakhosi, izikhulu zonke zakwa Cogta, kanye nabezindaba, ikakhulukazi ke bese ngifaka laba basivotela njoba sihleli kulezi zihlalo, kanye nabo bonke abantu abavotayo kulelizwe lokhokho bethu. Honorable Chairperson, this month marks the 30th anniversary of the cowardly and the brutal killing of our leader, the revolutionary Thembisile Chisane, the former General Secretary of the South African Communist Party and the member of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, the Liberation Movement. We are bitter that this assassin is out of prison, despite the opposition from the wife of Comrade Chris, his children, and all the supporters of justice across the country. Wherever you are, Comrade Chisane, we want you to know that we still love you and we miss you for the simple reason that you took a stance to side with the working class and the poor, even to the point of paying with your life. We declare on the onset that the ANC supports the Cogta APP and the budget of more than 2.4 billion rand, because we went through all their stages of development. Its growth by more than 622.9 million is one of the motivations for our support. Over 631 million rand is ring-fenced as the specifically and exclusively appropriated funds. Honorable Chairperson, we are thrilled to know that 631.083 million is ring-fenced as the back pay for Izinduna from 2013 to 2016. This is a once-off allocation, honorable members. It has increased the budget of program number 4 by more than 588.8 million rand to a total of more than 1.2 billion rand, as the MEC has indicated. We must expect its decrease by more than 600 in the next financial year, because it is a once-off. We all know that the pursuit for this back pay dates back to 2013, immediately after the former president declared the proclamation, and that president was Comrade Jacob Gedleyihlekisa Zuma, the President of the Republic by then. for a considerable amount of time as KZN were arguing that this was an unfunded mandate, which the National Treasury had forgotten to fund it. But the funding never came. Our rough calculation at that time indicated that it was 1.4 billion rand. AG declared that Cogta KZN was a going concern in the annual report. And we did not contradict AG because we knew that we were owing Izinduna. It is worth mentioning that immediately after 2019 general election, the then newly appointed MEC for Cogta, Honorable Hlomuga, instructed the HOD Tuban and his team to calculate the amount afresh. That's where the amount above 600 million came about. We wanted also to declare that because we're doing oversight, we wanted them to pursue the matter. And we want also to declare that the former Cogta minister, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, gave the ear to Hlomuga and Cogta KZN. And Nkosazana suggested that there was a need for a meeting with the then Minister of Finance, Tito Mboweni. We can even tell you where they met in Limpopo, where they reached the agreement that KZN had a case. Then many other people got involved. We as Cogta Portfolio Committee officials can confirm we have been pursuing the matter. Then the Finance Portfolio Committee got into the fray. And then what then is known, that should be known, is that we realized that the battle was not above all of us. That's why we involved the political leadership of our ruling party, the African National Congress. We can even show you the pictures of Siboniso Duma and his top 5 when they met Amakhosi and Izinduna on the matter, because we wanted the matter to be followed up to its logical conclusion. We also want to declare to you that if we can go give you the numbers of the leadership of Contralesa, led by Nkiva, the General Secretary, they will indicate that we engage up to them. You know, why we are mentioning all this is that the back pay finally came to our province. That's why it is included in our budget. That's why we salute the leadership of the African National Congress and its government at both the provincial and national level for giving us an ear on this matter. So the back pay is with us now. Then we would also wanted to raise another issue. The issue is that we know, we are not doubting, can prove that Ontabagai Konjwa abused this unfortunate situation to campaign for 2021 local government. That's why we said over our dead body after November 1 that we had to take up the matter. Without a mandate or mandate, we wanted to deal with that. That's why then we've done. And this matter was used as a political game for people to get to the corridors of power. Now we have removed it. We knew that they were going to use it for the general election next year. That's why we learned from 2021 and then decided to get involved. We don't want to speak much, but now what we know is that there is nothing to campaign about related to Izinduna. You know, when we adopted the budget, we invited Izinduna deliberately because we wanted to demonstrate to all and sundry that this victory belongs to the African National Congress, but we never announced it and all that stuff. But we need to also understand, some of us who are old enough know that Amakhosi and Izinduna were first paid by Mandela in this country. They were never Amakhosi. Angithi manje nina nibancane, you will never understand. They were never paid. They were only paid when the ANC government came to power in 1994. And Mandela was insulted and said he was buying Amakhosi by those who were worried that were paying Amakhosi. I can't remember who were they and all the stuff. But what then we want to know, if they loved the Amakhosi, why didn't they pay them until we, coming from exile and the underground, decided to pay immediately when we came overboard? So, if we're going to first words, we also want to salute you, all members of Cogta Portfolio Committee, for the role you played in requesting Cogta to consider improvement of the stipend of the TC secretaries. All of you, because you are unanimous. But I want to declare what I saw in your speech, Honorable MEC, that the stipends of the TC secretaries is increased by 6,400 every month. We knew that you were going to deliver it, but I never understood deliver it so much. You remember when we met her to pass the budget, this is what we agreed upon. Before I get out of this platform, we are pleading with Cogta to address some of the allegations that have been flashed around in this debate. But my time does not allow me. I want to assure my brother, long before we were born, who are above 65 years, we want to tell you, my brother, that we're represented by Inkosi II, who indicated in June 1955 in Kliptown that all people in South Africa, whether are black or white, South Africa belongs to them. This South Africa is yours. We won't defend poor performing municipalities, but wanted to say something about it.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you. Siyabonga Thisha Omkhulu. The last minute. Okay. MEC, I just want to call you to the podium. I'm humbled to call you to the podium, and I want to remind you that you have got, you are left with 13 minutes.
13.
Yes.
Thank you.
To respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I want to thank all the honorable members for the participation in this debate. You have empowered me on some of the issues as a newly appointed MEC in Cogta, despite the fact that I have been through this journey, but being an MEC, it's a new appointment. I think one will firstly say thank you. I must also apologize to not indicate that we don't have our HOD today. He is not well. He has been hospitalized, but he's out of hospital. And I think we must applaud him for steering the ship of Cogta to this far. And I'm certain that the strain that he has been putting on, dealing with all the issues of the municipalities and Amakhosis, Induna and secretaries, it has taken its toll on him. But he's getting well and recovering. And we have the team led by DG Jim Kuchini, acting, and also we have our team here. I want to actually to tell the team that I'm really appreciating. I know that time when I was thanking people, I was looking at the time and I did not appreciate the work that you have done. putting through and pulling all the programs, and also preparing this budget and the APP for us to be able to present professionally and present a sound and a program that is seen to be the one that can be realized. Thank you very much, my team, Cogta, for that. I want to thank the chairperson, firstly, for the presentation and the report. We take the issues that you have raised in the report. Also, that we must speed up the process of employing the people that are in those vacant posts, which are 210. We'll try and speed the process up. We know that we are working against time, but we'll try and ensure that we'll bring the report in the next meeting. How are we planning? We are going to provide you with a plan on how are we going to fill those vacancies and by when we should actually be finalizing them. Thank you, Honorable Governor, Mrs. Meki, Sister Efrain, for the work and also for supporting the budget, and also is raising the concern on the electricity disruption. We are trying by all means to support our municipalities to ensure that we deal with that, and also introduce the renewable energy and alternative energy that is going to assist us in the long run. And we're hoping that we'll work together in ensuring that we keep the scourge of not having electricity in our homes, in our streets, in our businesses, and also in our offices. That's a commitment that we are making. We are also promising and assuring the House that we are going to actually strengthen the social compact as we have outlined in the budget to ensure that we are working with all the partners that we're supposed to be working with. And I'm certain that when we do that, we'll be able to teach also our municipalities that if they can embark on social compact, they will see the benefit of that. I think Umtimande will attest to that. When we're working with Honorable Umadlopa, in our time when we're working with the private sector and other investors in our municipalities were shining. So I'm hoping that when we lead that, our municipalities will learn from us as a department. Thank you, Demande. I know that some of the things you talk from the heart and knowing the journey, and I really appreciate even the issues. We want to also respond to say that on the issue of the TCs and how we are going to fund them. That's why we are trying to cushion some of the work that they are doing, and hence we are cushioning them on the tools of trade. We're giving them those support, so we'll continue to do so. If the funding allows us, we'll continue to include some of the other tools of trade that we are looking for. Unfortunate for us as KwaZulu-Natal, we have about 3,000 odd of Amakosi, and that's a challenge that we are faced with. With that, we have Izinduna more than that, and also that is a challenge. About 3,000 and odd of Izinduna that we're supposed to be catered for. We also have 307 of the secretaries that we're supposed actually to support, but we're trying by all means to meet some of these challenges. I'm certain that with the cooperation and the working relationship that we are building with other social partners, we may find that other measures are being met. Ngicabanga ukuthi enye into ke iyo le yokuthi yebo uyavuma ukuthi osecretary sibahlangabezile, kodwa ukhala ngendaba yokuthi ke mase bekhula ke kuyobanjani. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi ke lokho kuyobhekwa ngoba nasemakhosini kukhona okungakaqedwa abafisa ukuthi sikhulume. We'll find a way. Asinayo imali kodwa kulokho esingakwazi ukwenza ukubahlangabeza, we'll try and do that. Udaba kolusaxoxwa kune committee la national that speaks about traditional leadership issues that are pertaining across the country, but also specific to our province. They are also included in that list. Hence, the Deputy President visited our province last year, and then he proclaimed that he was going to ensure that he support to MEC, no minister, waka Cogta to go and meet with the National Treasurer, Minister, to look at the issue of the payment of his nduna, which we are glad today that they have done that and we have succeeded in doing so. Siyathemba ukuthi ke konke lokho sizokulungisa. Siyafuna ukuthi udaba lwamanzi njengoba ubonile umhlonishwa uMacingwane is doing his part in giving the municipalities the respective pledges that he has said. He has went to Zululand, he has went to Mkhanyakude, in those municipalities that he has pledged there, he has gone back. Go in the water provision of Uherikwala, building of the dams, and there is a list of projects. I've put them in the budget speech so that for the ease of reflection of a reference by the members, because I could not speak about all the projects that we have embarked on. So siyafisa kusho njalo okudlula lapho siyafisa ukuthi ke Mayor amfethu ngisazoyithola ithuba. You are a South African, we don't deny that. And we must know that even the constitution says that we, the South African, black and white, it means that we are included. Don't feel ashamed when you want to raise issues. Don't feel ashamed when you want to engage with us. We take you as that. But where we need to differ with you, we'll differ with you in a manner that we're supposed to. So ungathatha ukuthi mase sithi siyamukela sisho ukuthi somukela nento esibonayo ukuthi hayi ngiyafuna ukusho ukuthi cha, don't praise much of Umngeni, because there are a lot that we can talk about in that pertains to Umngeni, and which we don't want actually to embarrass some of the work that is done there. Asifuni kukwasho, but ke kodwa ngoba uyasibiza uthake sithi kusho whilst you upload Umngeni municipality, Honorable Mayor, it should be noted that they still need to improve on compliance issues. They don't comply. So when I say municipalities are not complying, I'm not only saying on the IFP side or on any other side, but all municipalities led by everybody is not complying, and I'm going to deal with compliance in a manner that is holistic. But mangmela, I speak as MEC and I will deal with that. If we then comrade to KK lapana akadlali nathi ukuthi uyasazi uyasitshela lokho kufanele sitshele kona, and that will make us ukuthi sethenjwe ngabantu ukuthi we are leading them in a manner that is expected of them. So ngiyathanda nje ukuthi ngisho basahluleka nje ukudila ne-issue of CFO wakhona. So we are assisting them as the department. So ungasho ukuthi cha ubashayele kakhulu banezinto. They still have a problem with the farm dwellers and farm workers in that particular municipality, and we are dealing with those things and trying to cushion some of them. And we are not going to say that on the TEC elections. I think we must also actually indicate to the House that udabala khona siyalungisa, because IEC rejected us to Caesar because of the work that is preparing for the general elections. But we are going to have a service provider, and that process has been in the tribunal, and the tribunal has finalized the matter, and it has been brought back to us. We are going to proceed. We are going to seek the date on doing so, and then we'll advise the committee as in the House. Udaba Zululand, I think Zululand iyadinga nje ukulekelelwa Mtimandi, because ne-DDM abakaphasisi one plan. We have extended the time to 26 June. We are hoping that they are going to adhere to that. Because the excess. So for Umsunduza, it's not because I grew up in this city, but Honorable Mayor, I must be honest. I drive this morning through the town and I could see it's clean. And I saw even in the circles that they've tried, they've cleaned. I'm not saying they're 100%, but they've tried, and we are monitoring and we are assisting them. We've appointed people that are coming to assist the municipality with other skills and support. So siyakholwa ukuthi ke kulokho kuzosiza ukuba sibone ilento. Abahlonishwa abadebateile ngiyafisa ukuthi ngisho ukuthi siyabonga. Mhlonishwa ushinga sizwile, siyabonga futhi ukuthi usupporte ibudget yethu, sizoyiphatha ngendlela efanelekile. Udaba lama disaster sizwile, bahlonishwa ndaba ezitha sizwile, ukuthi ke benifisa ukuthi ke silibheke ngeso elibanzi. Sizobafundela ku chapter 6 ke ngoba kwesisikhathi bayathanda ukuthi ngathi asinamandla. Ngizwile bebhala bethi ungenelela kanjani ungqongqoshe endabeni zethu. Cha, ngase ngithi constitution is there and go and look at the clauses that and the section that are relevant, because I have a responsibility as a provincial leader and the MEC for Cogta to ensure that the ukusebenza komasipala kwi-standard esilindelekile. Siyabonga kakhulu kunina nonke, uNkulunkulu anibusise nisenzile okuhle. Ngithanda ukubonga kakhulu kwi-team yonke njengoba kade ngibongile ekuqaleni, kakhulukazi ngibonga i-team ya Cogta. Ngiyafunda ngigijima, but it has been exciting. Ngibonge kuza kwethu uNxamalala Nxamza, ayikho indlela. Sibonge kakhulu kusihlalo osiphe ithuba nakubo bonke abaparticipatile. We intend to cooperate and work with you. Thank you very much for supporting the budget. We are not going to fail you. We are going to obtain another clean audit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, MEC. MEC, I would like to extend our appreciation as the legislature to you, MEC, for a well-presented budget report, as well as to your department, the officials under the leadership of the HOD.